Hello, today we're going to discuss the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, or OHIP. You can see the details of OHIP at ontario.ca. That's their URL. For now, there is no longer a waiting period for OHIP coverage. If you are eligible, you will have immediate health insurance coverage. In this video, we will discuss who qualifies, talk about how to apply, book an appointment, and even we will check on what age our child can be qualified to apply for OHIP. How to apply? So first, you must apply for OHIP in person at a Service Ontario Center. So when you say in person, because you have to take picture for your ID or your OHIP card, you will need to bring the following documents. Number one, completed registration form, which is Ontario Health Insurance Coverage Form. It is downloadable on their webpage. Next, you have to bring these three separate documents from the list of qualifying identification documents. Photocopies not accepted. So, what are these three separate documents? One original document that proves you're a Canadian citizen or OHIP eligible immigration status. In this video, we are particularly about to discuss the status of a student permit or open work permit. If you are a holder of a student permit, you are also being provided by the IRCC an open work permit. Which one of these you can submit to the OHIP officer? So either of them, they are qualified as a document to be submitted. But I think, in my own opinion, the open work permit is much favorable for us because it is 3 months um, ahead of time before or after the student permit. So at least you have more 3 months of your card's benefit. Another document is original printed or digital electronic document is noted on this list that proves your residency in Ontario. So this is a OHIP, Ontario Health Insurance. So you should give them the evidence that you are a resident of Ontario. Example of this documents like lease or rental agreement, and you can also provide a billing statement. Another one is the original document that proves your identity. So you bring with you your passport or your driver's license. If there are other documents that provides or tells about your identity, you can also bring that. And the most important letter, one of the most important document here is what we call the employment letter. Okay. In this slide, you can see that on the page of OHIP, you can check on that blue box wherein you can download the form. And this is the example of the form. Just fill that out. Bring it with you. Or if you are unable to download it or you cannot print it, there are already printed documents, the OHIP Service Ontario offices, and you can fill it in there. What is the Open Work Permit Employment Letter? So we have the list of guidelines for the letter that we have to submit. So the letter must be on your employer's company letterhead. So when you are employed, you ask your or request from your employer that you tell them that you are going to apply for an OHIP card and you are going to request this kind of letter of employment. So that's very important that they will have to provide it under their company's letterhead. The letter also must verbatimly or literally stated that the employee is working full time. State that the title or position of the worker in the occupation. It's either you're an accountant or staff or laborer or whatever is the position title that you hold on that company, it should be indicated in the letter. State that the employee will be working for the company within Ontario. Since we are applying for OHIP or Ontario Health Insurance, we have to be in Ontario. We have to prove that we are a resident of Ontario. The company does not have to be located in Ontario. I highlighted that because there are some companies that are outside Ontario, but they place some of their employees here in Ontario. The letter must have the address or city where the employee will be working in Ontario. State that the start date of employment. State that the employee has been employed for a minimum of 6 months duration. So before this is a period. So uh, the requirement is a minimum of 6 months, but now there is an or, which means to say this can also be a qualification that the employee can state in the letter that he wants you to be a permanent employee, or the example, if you are employed to them for about 3 months, which is in our case. So my OWP spouse is working in the company 3 months duration time, and we were able to apply for OHIP because it was indicated in the letter that the company is employing my spouse for a longer period of time, for at least a minimum of 6 months. And then another thing is that the letter should be signed and dated by employer. There are two things that we have to note here. The letter should not be. So this kind of guideline, you can see them in the internet, but some of them or some of the lines are not anymore applicable during our time. So the letter should not be an employment acceptance or offer letter. So employment letter is different from acceptance or offer letter. So we should note that we cannot or an acceptance letter or offer letter doesn't prove that you are employed or currently employed on that company. And then photocopy, scan, email, or fax. Before, these are not permissible to be submitted as your proof. But now, a copied or email copy of your employment letter is also qualified or is passable. So how to book an appointment? You can book an appointment on Service Ontario in two ways. It's either online at some Service Ontario centers, because not all Service Ontario centers are providing online booking. But when you choose to book online, please make it sure that 2 weeks in advance before your appointment. So this is the link wherein you can book your appointment online. And number two, other locations are currently walk-in only. So on the page of OHIP, you can see the list of Service Ontario centers that provides online and also that only available for walk-in. Now, why did I included here the child's age slide? It's because if your child is or will turn 16 at the time when you are going to apply for OHIP, please make it a point or note it to the officer or OHIP officer. Tell them that your child's age, that it is 15 and a half more, or she already reached that 15 and 6 months age during the time you were applying for it, because your child, if that's her age, she can already be taken photo and she can already sign on the OHIP form. Unlike a child, if your child is below 15 and a half years of age, you can personally apply for them, be you as a the guardian or the parent. Just bring with you also the birth certificate of your kids. Okay, after I think 9 days, we were able to receive the OHIP cards. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully, you will subscribe, share, comment, stay safe, stay healthy. And even though we have or we will have OHIP, just always be reminded to pray without ceasing, that there is God there who will always protect us. First Thessalonians 5:17. Enjoy the day.